බිස්කට් වේදිකාවට දැන් පැමිණි සීකෘගාමි රසේ මංචි පොටේටෝ ක්‍රැකර්. බිස්කට් වේදිකාවට දැන් පැමිණි සීකෘගාමි රසේ මංචි පොටේටෝ ක්‍රැකර්.
On satellite, on Freeview, on cable, on radio, on mobile, on the web and around the world. This is First at 9 on Other Derana 24/7.
Making headlines first at 9. Rumble in Katharagama. A brawl at Katharagama Devala premises early this morning disrupts morning rituals. Nearing the end, the United National Party decides to remove Minister Vijayadasa from the ministerial post. Pending debate. Government says Inland Revenue Bill will be taken into debate on Thursday. Opposition MPs ask for drafts. Making headlines from sports news. Plight of Sri Lanka cricket. Selection Committee Chairman Sana Jayasuriya disputes the outside interference claims by interim coach. Making headlines from international news. Unconstitutional practices. India suspends instant divorce of triple talaq. Bringing you news from home and across the world, this is First at 9 on Other Derana 24/7. Good evening, I'm Katharina Chang. We begin tonight with reports of early brawl at the Katharagama Devala premises. Religious sites are known to be sanctums of peace amid a world of conflict. However, this impression was torn apart by a brawl that erupted this morning at the Ruhunu Maha Katharagama Devalaya between a group allegedly led by the trustee of the Devalaya, D.P. Kumarage, and its shamans, locally known as Kapumahatyas. The tense situation that ensued disturbed religious rites and startled devotees who had gathered for pre-dawn rituals.
According to the age-old tradition, the handover of duties from shamans to the trustee of the Ruhunu Maha Katharagama Devalaya was scheduled at noon today. At 4:30 a.m. today, however, a group including trustee D.P. Kumarage allegedly assaulted a shaman and forcibly took possession of the keys of the Devalaya and evicted devotees from the premises.
I told the trustee that the keys would be handed over at noon, not early in the morning. Then he left. After he left, I gave the keys to another shaman so that he could carry out religious rites. The keys were forcibly taken from him.
Enraged by the situation, locals forcibly entered the official residence of the trustee, wrested the keys from his possession and reopened the Devalaya. Discussing the allegations, trustee D.P. Kumarage had this to say.
There were a number of people in the Devalaya. When I got the keys and tried to open it, they shouted at me, asking what right I had to open this door. Then I went home and these people shut themselves inside the Devalaya.
The trustee further asserted that the shamans were bound to give him the key whenever he requested it. He added that he had filed a complaint with the Katharagama police against the forcible entry of people into his residence. According to our correspondent, the tense situation has now subsided and the functions of the Devalaya are as usual.
Looking to the future of the country's healthcare sector, President Maithripala Sirisena says more priority must be given for developing the curative sector and providing it with more resources. The President made the remarks addressing an event in Colombo today.
The 82nd Annual General Meeting of the Public Health Inspectors Union of Sri Lanka was held at the Nelumpokuna Theatre in Colombo under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena.
In development of hospitals and treatment, we increase infrastructure, provide technology and equipment, increase medical and nursing staff, and as a government, make broad investments in the treatment sector. When it comes to hospitals overflowing with patients, however, annual financial allocations to strengthen the curative sector is not enough. There is a dire need to provide more resources to the curative sector if we are to have a healthy population.
රෝග වැළැක්වීම නිවාරණාංශය සඳහා දැනට වඩා විශාල වශයෙන් සම්පත් දීම අවශ්‍යයි කියන එකයි අපි ලබා ඇති අවබෝධය සහ දැනුම.
Meanwhile, President Maithripala Sirisena donated 45 million rupees towards replating the golden canopy of the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic. The President made the donation responding to a request made by the Chief Prelates of the Malwatu and Askari chapters. Deputy Chairman of the North Central Provincial Council, Jayantha Marasinghe, a member of the joint opposition, met President Maithripala Sirisena at the Presidential Secretariat today and pledged to support the President's programme.
The government plans to create more jobs by developing tourist destinations in the south of Sri Lanka. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe divulged the plans while speaking on the country's ambitious aim to strengthen the economy at an event held at the Alpitia Public Ground today. A ceremony was organised to distribute 4,000 land deeds in Alpitia under the auspices of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe today. Deeds were handed over to businesses and religious institutions that do not have ownership to lands. The official website of the Ministry of Land was also launched at the event.
We need to increase income levels, and that is why we want to revive the economy of the southern province and make Galle District a leading tourist destination in Asia and provide jobs for the youth in the area. This morning, a businessman from Thailand came to visit me. They requested 800 to 900 acres to construct an industrial zone in the Kalutara district so they could relocate factories from other Asian countries. We agreed to this. We will be constructing large industrial zones in areas in Hambantota and Monragala as well as the border of Galle and Mathura. We hope to strengthen the economy of plantation agriculture sectors in the south and rebuild a new economy that is driven by industries and tourism. Through industrialization, we will be strengthening our aviation and port sector. We hope that by developing the tourism sector, we will be able to generate direct employment for 2,000 people and indirectly create jobs for another 1,500 people.
මං හිතන් ඒ වගේම වක්‍රව තව 1500කට 2000කට රැකියා හම්බෙනවා.
The United National Party today informed President Maithripala Sirisena that Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa should be removed from all the cabinet ministerial positions for not falling in line with the decisions taken by the party working committee and criticising state principals as well as ministers. Issuing a communique today, General Secretary of the United National Party, Minister Kabir Hashim, gave an explanation on the decision. According to the communique issued by the General Secretary of the UNP, accusations were levelled against Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa for breaching the collective responsibility of the party during the party working committee meeting last week. The communique says the minister was given time until Monday, the 21st, to correct his statement, and he failed to do so. It notes the minister's failure to do so was in breach of the agreement reached with the party and the collective responsibility of the party by criticising state policies and ministers. In his statement, Minister Kabir Hashim says, in consideration of the said reasons, the party informed the President to remove Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa from all cabinet ministerial positions following the unanimous decision of the working committee. The matter of Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa was also the subject posed to Minister Kabir Hashim by journalists following an event in Colombo today.
කැබිනට් අනතුරෙන් ඉවත් කිරීම සඳහා තමයි යෝජනා කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ වෙලාවට අපි ඒ තීරණය ගැන කියන්න. දැන් ඉතින් තනි ආණ්ඩුවක් වගේනේ. යම් කිසි ගැටලුවක් තියෙනවා. ඒක අපි සඳහන් කරලා තියෙනවා පැහැදිලිව.
සාධාරණීකරණය කරන්න එතුමා
He is misusing the robe to justify his stance. He is trying to fulfill his future ambitions hiding behind the robe. It can't be done.
ඒක හරියන්නේ නැහැ.
ඒක ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම
It's an internal issue of their party. We don't have to comment on it. I completely agree with the stance of the Sri Lanka Bar Association.
මම සම්පූර්ණයෙන් එකඟ වෙනවා නීතිඥ සංගමයේ මතයත් එක්ක.
What I have to say is that everyone of that party should comply with the discipline of the party.
On the issue of the Justice Minister, it's important that we don't support any witch hunt that takes place. It is also important to remember that there are fundamental precepts of things such as cabinet collective responsibility that also have to be understood. It's clear that there are people who are using this as an opportunity to sideline the Justice Minister. It's important to ensure that if any action is taken, it is taken for a credible reason.
A supplementary budget was presented to the Parliament seeking a sum of 53 billion rupees for 6 development projects, including an extension of the Southern Expressway to Hambantota. The Leader of the House, Minister Lakshman Kiriyalla, in the meantime announced that the debate on the local government election amendments will be held this Thursday.
We are going to debate the Inland Revenue Act this Friday. We won't go for a vote. There are over 100 amendments and another day will be given to discuss them. It will be debated on the 24th and a vote will be held on the same day. The amendments we have are different from the ones which were discussed. To pass the amendments, we don't even have them in hand. Only the Speaker can decide if the amendments are acceptable within this framework or not. There was a discussion in the country about the election system. 55 amendments given by the Elections Commission are already done. They too will be provided by tomorrow. We all want to hold this election. This can't be postponed anymore. Leader of the House, please don't try to give a wrong impression to the House. We are not trying to say that we want to postpone elections. We need elections, but it's not constitutional if amendments which are outside the past act are tabled at the working committee. It's our responsibility to make sure the amendments are constitutional. We have finished it with the assistance of the Attorney General. These are experiments. People will get used to it. I don't know if anyone should oppose it. We should remove whatever is unconstitutional. We give the opportunity for the people to engage in the new system, and if there are defects, they can be fixed through the new constitution.
The North Central Provincial Council today approved the proposed 20th Amendment to the Constitution, which proposes to hold all provincial council elections on the same day. When the vote was taken, 15 voted in favour of the bill, while 13 voted against the bill.
The Provincial Council gathered at 10 a.m. today, presided over by the Chairman of North Central Provincial Council, D.M. Amaratunga. The Governor of the North Central Province, P.B. Dissanayake, presented the draft bill of the proposed 20th Amendment to the Constitution. The Chief Minister had informed the MPs that opinions of the Council regarding the draft bill should be submitted to the President as soon as possible. However, the MPs objected and a tense situation arose when the Chairman informed the Council that a decision should be made today. When the vote was taken, 15 voted in favour of the bill, while 13 voted against the bill.
The Election Commission has inquired the date for mini polls from both the President and the Prime Minister. Convener of the March 12th movement, Rohan Hettiarachchi, made the remarks today at a media briefing in Colombo, adding that they received a positive response.
The relevant act is being amended. Changes are being made to the previously proposed system as well. 60%, which has been given for proportional system, will be brought down to 40%. Those are positive steps, because percentages should be changed, allowing all political parties to represent the administrative process. But we would like to stress that the changes should not be used to postpone elections or to prevent people using their votes. The Act will also reduce the quota given for female candidates. With the new electoral system, public will also lose their right to select their representatives. The preferential system will be removed. Political parties have been given more power than the voters. Political parties must send only the most suitable candidates for elections.
සුදුසු ගැලපෙන අපේක්ෂකෝ ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න.
On election news, Chairman of the Election Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya, says the election secretariat should be immediately contacted if voters' names are not included in the 2017 electoral register. He pointed out that the revised list has already been uploaded to the Election Commission's official website.
The draft of the 2017 electoral register has been prepared. It has been uploaded to the official website of the Elections Commission. Additions and removals from the electoral register can be obtained from the Grama Seva officer. Kindly be sure that your name is included in the electoral register, since only the members included in the 2017 electoral register is eligible to vote in the upcoming elections.
Transparency International Sri Lanka today voiced concerns over reports of cabinet ministers being unhappy with the Auditor General being given more power. Addressing a media briefing, it highlighted the National Audit Bill as a primary pledge of President Maithripala Sirisena's 100-day manifesto and said that the National Audit Bill should be tabled immediately.
Elaborating on the matter, Executive Director Asoka Obesekara stated that Auditor General's powers should be retained in amalgamation with three main provisions of lucid specifications on the processes of indictments of surcharge, impartial appeal procedures exclusive of conflicts of interest for the Commission and the Auditor General, as well as an independent budgeting process which would uphold the autonomy of the National Audit Office.
It is clear that with the various amendments that have been made to this bill, that this bill must be brought and tabled in Parliament in its current form. However, there are three areas where it can be strengthened, but those areas of strengthening the bill don't mean that the bill needs to go back to the drawing board. Rather, the bill can go forward and be tabled in Parliament and fixed in Parliament. These are very, very important because of the current public trust deficit in public finance.
Welcome back to the news. Several ministers from the Sri Lanka Freedom Party today responded to former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's statement where he said that he is the chairman of the SLFP.
We saw that former President Mahinda Rajapaksa handed over power to former opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe early in the morning on the 9th of January 2015. He also said that I was defeated and I'm going home. That's all he said. According to the party constitution, President Maithripala Sirisena became the chairman of the party automatically. Majority of the Central Committee members met President Maithripala Sirisena. Next day, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa also visited him and handed over the party leadership. We know it happened at the Speaker's house.
The
64th anniversary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party was held in Polonnaruwa last year. It was held under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena. In that event, the former president sat next to President Maithripala Sirisena as the consultant to the party. And he also sent a congratulatory message to President Maithripala Sirisena after handing over the party at the Speaker's house.
Mahinda Rajapaksa හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුමා හිටපු පක්ෂ සභාපතිතුමා සුභාශංසන පණිවිඩයක් එව්වා.
Media personnel also questioned the former president over his statement today.
Sri Lankan shares fell to their lowest close in more than 4 months today as persisting uncertainty over proposed tax reform bill dragged down blue chips. The Colombo stock index fell 0.39% or 25.21 points to 6,395.32. For a full report on the day's trading, let's cross over to Imesh Fernando from the Colombo Stock Exchange.
The market capitalization at the end of the day was 2,899.8 billion rupees. Top 5 gainers of the day were Tess Agro Non-Voting, Blue Diamonds, Swarnamahal Financial Services, Anilana Hotels and Properties and Asia Asset Finance. While the top 5 losers were SNB Leasing, Non-Voting, Adam Investments, Multi-Finance, Adam Capital and Amana Takaful.
Let's now take a look at how the Sri Lankan rupee traded against other currencies during the day. Welcome back to the news. On Sports News tonight, Raheem Sterling scored an 82nd minute equaliser as Manchester City fought back to draw with Everton 1-1 in the English Premier League yesterday. In a frantic contest that saw both sides reduced to 10 men, Wayne Rooney's second goal of the season looked to have earned victory after Kyle Walker was harshly sent off for City at the Etihad Stadium. Everton went down a man late on as Morgan Schneiderlin was shown red.
Premier League goal and second into the point, ruining Everton's night late on.
Raheem Sterling, who didn't miss this time. The first goal that Everton have conceded this season.
On cricket news tonight, commenting on the recent claims on outside interference by NIC Pothas chairman of the selection committee, Sanat Jayasuriya says that Pothas has been given 100% power to work with the captain and the manager as the chairman does not approve outside interference. He made these comments speaking at the Derana 360 program yesterday.
Nobody interferes in his work. He has been given 100% power to work with the captain and the manager. I don't like outside interference.
පිට හස්ත අත ගහනකොට මම කැමතිත් නෑ.
අර්ජුන රන්තුංග කියන චරිතයේ තිබෙන නායකත්වයේ පෞරුෂය.
නැගිට ගමන් බය වෙනවා.
We are afraid of him even when he gets up from his chair. The captain should establish such an aura. Every member is equal to him. He even scolds Aravinda when he does not perform. He scolded us too.
අපි ඒක කරනවා.
දැන් ඔබ හිතනවාද ක්‍රිකට් සම්බන්ධයෙන් තරු බිහි වෙනවයි කියලා?
මේ ඉන්න ක්‍රීඩකයෝ
The players should know how to become stars. As a former player, my request to the public is that we should give the players some more time.
තව පොඩ්ඩක් වෙලාව දෙන්න. මේ ක්‍රීඩකයෝ නැගිටලෙයි.
Meanwhile, views were expressed at several media briefings regarding the crisis faced by Sri Lanka cricket.
Who is responsible for the current crisis in Sri Lanka cricket? They first changed the captains, the coach and the managers, but they did not see any success. Next in the line is the president of the Sri Lanka cricket and the minister of sports. After being elected, I did not want to poke my finger in the cricket board. Many of them attacked me when I pointed out the unfit state of our players. As you can see today, many of our good players are injured. We have a good side, but they fail to keep the stability. We have to solve this methodically.
US President Donald Trump backtracked on his original instinct to pull troops out of Afghanistan, saying a hasty US withdrawal from the country would leave a vacuum for terrorists to fill. Addressing the military and his cabinet, Trump added that he wanted to shift from a time-based approach in Afghanistan to one based on the conditions on the ground.
In a speech with few details, Trump did not specify how many more troops would be added, gave no timeline for ending the US presence in Afghanistan, and said attack plans will not be revealed. He also urged the Afghan government to do its fair share.
America will work with the Afghan government as long as we see determination and progress. However, our commitment is not unlimited, and our support is not a blank check.
While the Afghan government welcomed the decision, the Taliban condemned it, vowing to continue fighting as long as the US military was present in the country.
India's Supreme Court has ruled the practice of instant divorce in Islam unconstitutional, marking a major victory for women's rights activists who had long argued that it violated their right to equality. The landmark court decision came in response to petitions challenging the so-called triple talaq custom.
India was one of a handful of countries where a Muslim man could divorce his wife in minutes by saying the word talaq, which means divorce, 3 times, even via social media and text messaging. In a 3-2 majority verdict, the Supreme Court called the practice un-Islamic.
We direct the government of India to legislate a proper statute within 6 months. Until such time as the government does this, there would be an injunction on husbands pronouncing triple talaq on their wives.
Triple talaq is banned in several Muslim countries, including neighbouring Pakistan and conservative Saudi Arabia.
Let's cross over to Shenla Fernando at the other Derana Weather Centre with the forecast for the next 24 hours.
A very good evening and welcome to the Weather Centre. Now, the evening may be mild or warm yet again, as temperatures are to vary between 20 to 34 degrees Celsius over the next 24 hours, with fairly windy weather forecasted in the Hambantota, Maduroya and Polonnaruwa areas. Cloudy skies, meanwhile, can be expected across most parts of the island. Several spells of showers will occur in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and southern provinces, while light showers are expected in the northwestern province. And up next is your city-by-city forecast.
And before we go, we'd like to take you to the United States, where the skies went dark and temperatures plummeted in yesterday's dramatic coast-to-coast total solar eclipse, the first of its kind in nearly a century. To witness a fleeting natural spectacle, millions of people moved to get into the path of darkness, putting on their protective glasses to gaze at the sky in wonder. Thank you for joining us. Have a pleasant evening.
Bringing you the news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.